Let's get back to work. Well, I just sat and watched a video on the one of my favorite groups when I was a kid called Fifth Dimension. Okay, and the names I thought Ron was Lamont, Lamont was Ron, Lamont Macklemore was the taller fellow. How was that, Bones? You know, and Bones is the guy that produced all the things. Let's do the back rack tune, right? So Lamont Macklemore was the taller fellow that died in 2026, and Ron was the heavier set fellow who's operatically say who he called when he called him a Billy Davis Jr. Okay. So yeah, and Lamont kept getting the one girl, and then she ends up marrying the guy who got him started from Motown. These kids are good. These kids are good. Yeah, he could. It's weird that Barry Gorey turned them down, but I'm. It's interesting that he didn't hear that in Marilyn's voice. You know, I see Lamont Macklemore going, no, we're good. Yeah, I can see him. Suspended up in a twilight canopy. Want you to sing along with the fifth dimension. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in the sun. And they were two pop for R&B and two R&B for pop. All right. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know how in the world to stop thinking of her, 'cause I still love her so. I end each day the way I start out. You could see her running through the house in her apron. You could see her, it was neat, how classy she was and everything. You could see it in I end each day the way I start out, crying my heart out. It's like, you go, Burt Bacharach. Tear that up, man. And was it Nero? Yeah, she's good. She wrote Stone. Can you survey? Can you picnic? Come on and survey down to a Stone Soul picnic. The hell, yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. What else did she write? I don't remember. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm watching this and they're doing this thing. And then you're watching the We Are the World. I watched the thing on the We Are the World stuff. I stopped watching that. I want to save lives and feed people. Well, then stand up for the commands of Jesus Christ. Okay. God is not your ego. Okay. And your ego can't save you from your ego, right? It's impossible. You can't use lie to save you from lie. The only thing that can save you from lie is truth, right? And so once you understand truth and you live truthfully, then you faithfully love. If you're not a truthful person, you become seduced by your lie, and then you're Superman, get killed by Doomsday, and right, I was watching some of that. And I don't know how in the world to stop thinking of her, 'cause I still love her. So I don't do that. I don't have a Mariah Carey something fantasy baby. I don't have that in my head. I have thoughts like, oh, it sure be nice to be living the Lord's Prayer and have an affectionate woman and have. I need so little yet so much. Children's sweet laughter, women's touch. Because I don't have that. You know, you can hear Jack next door playing out like he's a cute kid, right? But it's Las Cruces. This town, you could have the dumbest mule in the history of the cartels living next door to me, but because the science people wanted to maintain, quote, stability in my life, he could be the dumbest mule in the history of the drug cartels and think God's watching over him. It's like, no, you just live next door to the Messiah, and they just want to keep things a certain way. Really, yeah. Remember when Eddie gave me that ammo box to hold when he went somewhere and said, "Watch out, because these people come to my house and do crazy shit." And I put it in the barn. I just put it in the barn and gave it back to him when he got back. I never opened it or looked in it or nothing. I just put it in there. When he came back, I gave it back to him. Yeah, that's just the way I am. Wasn't going to keep it in the house if somebody was going to try to do something or kill over it and stuff like that. So I put it in the barn. So if somebody comes to get it, they go into the barn, they get it, and they leave, right? Common sense, right? Don't have it in here. Have it to where they'll go in and nobody has to get shot or killed over something in an ammo box, right? So, Yeah, I don't know how in the world to stop thinking of it, but I held it for him. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. You know, I don't have California psychics. I'm surrounded by the worst perverts in the history of the world that think they're smarter than me. Oh, wow, he's crazy, he's dumb. Yeah, I'm Asperger's and savant, according to all the scientists at NASA. When I got back here, you're Asperger's or savant. I'm Rain Man. I'm Dustin Hoffman from Scientology, Tom Cruise, Dave Miscavige ego movie. You know, it's like, yeah, they're geniuses, right? Fuck. You know, like I always tell people, I'm not a genius. Well, I wouldn't build a nuclear weapon and threaten to blow everybody up if they don't give me money. God has a plan for your life. Okay. The Lord said, forgive debt and trespass, love one another, eternal faithful peace, not make money off of selling comic books and debating comic books with mass murderers. For you are beautiful, and I have loved you dearly, more dearly than the spoken word can tell. All right, these people are nuts, man. They are. You can't save Franklin Graham from Billy Graham's ego. Okay, yes, Jesus loves me. They think they're Jesus. Okay. Like I said with Oral Roberts, right? You know, just don't give him the money. See if Jesus kills him. Then if he goes and commits suicide, we know exactly who told him he needed the $1 million or somebody was going to kill him, right? Right? If someone says, Jesus said you have to give me $1 million or Jesus is going to kill me. If he goes and kills himself because he didn't make the $1 million, we know who Jesus is in his head. In your head, zombie, right? And Jesus, the guy who said forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace, said if a bunch of crazy redneck hillbillies from trailer parks don't give you $1 million, Jesus is going to kill you. Put them to the test. Don't give the motherfucker $1 million, right? Like I said to the kids in Sierra Vista. You want the key to the secret of life or $1 million? You don't have $1 million. The key to the secret of life, don't value the $1 million, right? Forgive that and trespass, love one another, turn flip, peace. Boom, boom, right? So I'll be here until further notice, right? Yes, I love Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. Yes, Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. loves me. The Bible tells you so. The one they call Lord, the son of Ralph and Mary, from the lay preachers, second coming of his father in the valley of shadow and death, with Gabriel and Michael, his nephews, to help in prayer eternally. I'll be loving you eternally. That's Roger Whiskers. I like Red Roses for a Blue Lady. He also sings Laura's theme really well. Yeah, I played it for my Amy. Someday we'll meet again, my love. You ever heard that? Somewhere a hill blossoms in green and gold. Right. Very lovely. Pretty song. Right. Well, we still need more money to fuck. And we need to pay bastards that hold food hostage money for the food to send it and save their lives. Okay, live the Lord's Prayer. Heart of Psalms, wisdom of Proverbs, sustain it, right? You know, we're at the edge of the sword. We can either all mass murder each other with the sword or give everybody wealth, and it's not wealth. It's, you know, empathy, dignity, and respect. Okay? Clean, healthy water, viable soils, you know, a viable, healthy ecosystem, healthy food, healthy critters. Manage the critters through blood offerings. Because if you don't, you know what happens with nature. If you don't manage nature through your understanding and humility of nature, nature will manage you. I love Diotaro Suzuki too. Mogan Cycle. Park all the Mogan cycles. Save the cheerleader. She won't have brain damage from carbon emission poisoning and then feel she has to be in a propaganda comic book TV show to pay her bills to have sex. You know, thank God I'm working. Baby girl, you ain't working. This ain't working. That's the way you do it. Play the guitar on the MTV. It ain't working. That's the way you do it. We got Ray Charles in on this. Okay, you guys are making money to give it to thugs to give them food that's held hostage from the ecosystem that they destroyed by getting yellow cake from Niger to try to blow each other up if they can't rule the world with technology and money. Tesla, save us. Let's travel through time and get Nikola Tesla, and he will save us by conducting energy that Doesn't require nuclear fission or fusion. Right. Didn't we already do that with the pyramids back in the day? And then they stole the gold because the gold was more valuable than the food right off the top. So the big thing that represented his mother's vagina, which was the womb that brought them to they're crazy, man. They always come up with crazy shit. It's witchcraft. It's voodoo. They're insane. Trust me, these people are nuts. Okay? And just because they left their faces on big rock statues of them being part human, part lion, doesn't mean that all people that look like that crazy asshole that Napoleon shot the nose off the face act like that crazy asshole. Just because a man looks like Lamont Lacklamore doesn't mean he acts like Ramesses. He could be a real nice guy. How's that sound, Bones? Sounds good. Now let's do the Bacharach tune. Boom, ba-doom, boom. I don't know how in the world to stop thinking of her, 'cause I still love her so. I end each day the way I start out, crying my heart out, one less bell to answer. Anybody else particularly fond of the fifth dimension? Sing along with the fifth dimension. Let the sun shine in, the sun shine in. They sang it better than the people on the movie and on Broadway. Oh yeah. Dun, and the band was really cool. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Yeah. Boom, ba-doom, boom. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planet. And the 60s were really good at our house. This is the dawning of the horoscope to tell you what's happening with stuff that's voodoo. Crystal blue persuasion. Tomorrow, when he looks down on every grainfield in every town through every satellite owned by the Justice League that might go rogue if our Flash dies. You know, you're like, gosh, damn it, make it stop. I'm working on it, man. I'm tired, y'all. I'm not only one man. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. I'm eternal spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. I'm excellent driver, 20 minutes to Wapner. Right? I'm the eternal spirit of a faithful man that saves humanity from humanity by getting them to understand faith in the infinite truth of creation, that human beings are not capable of creation. They can only invent and manipulate matter. And when you invent and manipulate matter, okay, if it's not done truthfully and lovingly and faithfully, like Haile Selassie explained, you'll negate all the wisdom and you will turn refrigeration into mass murder, holding the food hostage. And you won't put any, refrigeration is something you should use, minimalize the use of it. You put it into a cellar. You ventilate it so the chemicals don't linger in the house and cause cancer. You can live to be 150 or more. Who knows? It's not found in any store. Mr. Popel, you want a pocket fisherman or a Vegematic? Right, to understand word crimes, right? And so word crimes, yes. Okay, you commit, all crimes are committed with words because it's a form of communication that is fallacy, that turns human invention into creation to try to destroy God with Stephen Hawking's theory of everything. You have a theory of everything. Okay, you didn't read, there's Pascal's triangle, life's eternal, grace is infinite, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, given life by the truth of creation through holy covenants, be fruitful and multiply, and there's not a man on planet Earth, okay, that can continue to live through loving his woman. I don't know how in the world to stop thinking of her, because I still love her, so I need to stay the way I start out, crying my heart out. One less woman to clean up after. Oh, it's off drop-off disease, Amy Sue. So I told her, instead of it's off, it's off. I said, you got, it's a Hebrew disease, but it's your own invention. It's off drop-off disease. You take it off, and she drops it right there, and the kids have it, and I'm always constantly running around. One less bell to answer. Clean up after. And so you need to clean up after yourself. You have 2 healthy legs, 2 healthy hands. That is the hamper. That's the cabinet. That's the drawer. A thing for everything and everything in its place. A big pile of dirty laundry. That's what I push Natalie into when she abuses her mom, and because of inspired by her Aunt Patrice, and I say no, I did to her as like a Shaq did Craig Ostertag. She was bullying her when she was pregnant with Crumb. I said, I said, after she has the baby, you can take her out and kick her ass for being mean to you. But while she has the baby, that little baby ain't done nothing to you. You need to leave her alone. Teresa's a little crazy. Don't listen to her. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I love her. She's my sister, but I'm objective about my love for her. So one day she kept being a shit, and I just picked her up by the back of her head on a big pile of laundry, and so I said, I can do that to you anytime I want. Okay, now you protect Crumb from yourself and don't be like your Kelly Jack Ding daddy. Okay, I've had enough. History of violence? Well, till Viggo Mortensen, he's not the spirit of the Lord. I are. Baboons, weasels, baboons. Doesn't matter to her that day. She learned. She is a lot like Patrick. Once you got it across to her and she went, okay. And she was pretty humble about it, and she didn't do it no more. And then she would always yell, we need to throw her out. I'm not throwing the baby out in the street because your mom fucks guys at the fort that try to get me all upset because they're pussy faces and I'm not a dickhead. And I would always explain that to her. Natalie, I love you and I understand that you're upset and you're mad and I didn't know at the time, but you're reacting to the women that are pissed off at what the men are doing to Amy and how Amy's treating me through them. And I get that, but we can't take it out on that little baby. Okay. Yeah, some leg lifter who has got a wife and kids in Baltimore back and went to the Candlewood Suites where the cheaters vans are parked and it put his dick in there and then he got the woman pregnant and never went back. And we had to make sure that Crumb was born alive and healthy. Healthy is bearing healthy and strong forever, my lady. It's like a dream. I love babies and I protect children from starvation, from millionaires making money to pay billionaires for the food. I am, Franklin Graham. If you don't know me, you don't know Jesus, and you don't know Jack. He's just pretending to be Oral Roberts saying, I need $1 million or Jesus is going to kill my ass. Don't give him $1 million. See if he commits suicide. You know who Jesus is. In your head, zombie, right? For you are beautiful and I have loved you dearly. Remember that the soul is the essence of you and not that wicked brain you've trapped the soul in, right? It was a fifth dimension. I like Billy Davis Jr. and Marilyn McCoo. I didn't want his wife. I was just like, where's my Marilyn McCoo? I thought it was Yolanda Denise Gilliard. And then what happened? More science projects. Well, they're going to replace Christ with the theory of everything. That's fucked up. I know, but do you know? Just submit to the commands of the Christ. They're perfect, agreed upon by all the perfect people throughout time to deliver us from the evil of human invention and have us focused on faith and the truth of creation. But come on, sing along with the fifth dimension now. Dun, dun, dun. Well, guys, I gotta meet Mickey Howard. Okay, I have to flirt with Mickey Howard. Okay, I got things to do. Okay, I got barbecues. I gotta be able to take breath of fresh air, either in Eureka or the Gila. It don't matter to me. Yeah, it don't matter to me, right? Anybody else like David Gates? Yeah, I like David Gates though. It don't matter to me. And what's the other one? You guys were fucking with my head in Sierra Vista? You're mean little bastards. I'm not embarrassed by any of the head fucking you did on me and how I was surviving it and being a naive, righteous sweetheart of protecting a person of the celebrities I thought were watching me, that were watching me, that were watching me, that were watching me. I've been watching you, watching me. Tell me something, why is it oh so cold in your house? I'm pretty sure before my time on Earth is through, that Jane Eugene will know who Earl is. Just hope she, stays as healthy and well and will be able to experience the rapture and the peaceful as a baby's sigh of living the apocalypse worldwide. Carl McIntosh, Steve Nichols, the kids from Five Star, Janet Jackson, Jafar Jackson, maybe even Dionne Warwick. That would be nice. What do you get? That's Backrack, but she's his muse. Yeah. Yeah, he wrote, he wrote, did you know he wrote What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love for Dion, but she didn't sing it. She turned it down and Jackie DeShannon sang it. But Jackie does such a good job with it, doesn't she? Yeah, Jackie, she tears it up, right? Do you think Dion would have sang it better? Did Dion sing it after Jackie had success with it? Do we have a version of Dion singing What the World Needs Now? No, not just for some, but for every. I think Jackie tears it up. I think Dion probably thinks that, well, she needed to pay her bills too. Thank God I'm working. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Play the guitar on the MTV. You pay money to billionaires for food held hostage so millionaires can look like heroes because none of them are standing up for the Lord's Prayer. And they fed the kids for a month, and then many of them died months later because the news reels had changed, right? Rwanda, Ethiopia, Somalia, fraud. Fraud. Yeah, yesterday I was bringing in all these people. They had the Freedom Christ Coalition that gets money from data. I said, oh, those billionaires, throw it away. And then they had the reservation aid. And I thought, well, millionaires, well, maybe it'd be okay sending money to millionaires. Just like, Earl, what? Child care in Minnesota. Okay, I'll throw them all in the trash. Yeah. Help your poor dad out. He stresses about money and he doesn't need to see, millionaire or billionaire fraudsters' money to feel like, Jesus said, give him your money. Yeah, Jesus said, if you don't give me $1 million, he's going to kill me, right? In your head, in your head. My father, he liked me. Does anyone care? Not that anyone cares. I don't work at the Gap. But there is a gap between you and me and what we perceive as work, right? Okay. I'm going to replace creation with physics. Yeah, I'm going to replace God with physics. And then I'm going to tell you everything right here. You can look very still. You can sit very still, look into the till. There's a way to get to God if you want to. You can go to Sugmod if you want to. Give the master the nod if you want to. And we'll all know heaven now. So he gives you a secret word because you paid him for a membership card. Right. To visit his temple in Minneapolis. Right. How much money does it cost to get the food out of hostage for the kids being murdered in Somalia? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? You guys suck, man. You suck. And if you don't understand that you suck, no, I don't think Ilhan Omar is a monster, and I'm not abusing a woman who got involved in politics because she's charismatic. And she has a perception of intelligence that she articulates eloquently so people believe her and then give them their money. Okay, they were using her. They were using her abuse as a woman in an archaic part of our society that was using, enforced human law enforcement abuse to abuse women horrifically. And she articulated that abuse real well in a way that resonated in us and saying, let's do something about it. Let's stop this. Okay, she's a woman. They used her intellect and her elegance and her sensuality to get lots of money out of you for fraudsters, to protect children from fraud. Okay. And she came and she showed me affection in prayer. And I told her, just take the hijab off. We're not in those times anymore. I don't need you to cover up your hair to protect me from wanting to throw you down and sexually ravage you. Right? I already found you attractive. Didn't matter if you were wearing a hijab, if you had your hair hanging down on your shoulders without any clothes on at all, stepping into the bedroom and saying, lay down, man, and let me love you. Oh, Lord Allen and his wives. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Because I had to sit there and go into battle and cut the heads off of infidels that said they were killing people to save people in the kingdom of heaven here on earth by mass murdering in the name of Jesus Christ over money, right? That's horrible, right? Okay. So you guys understand? Okay. Can you, sir? Can you picnic? Come on, and Siri down to Road to Hell is paved with good intentions. But Mama, Harry Belafonte's intentions were the best for USA for Africa, right? And Band-Aid and Farm Aid and okay, y'all know that money ain't real and that them dogs' real voices, and you wouldn't think that the dinosaurs would be so close to town, right? Out of the night when the full moon is bright comes a horseman known as Zorro. Remember they had the episode with the La Brea Tar Pits on it? Okay. That's the cool thing about Zorro is that all the episodes, they're about Los Angeles. And so all the places that they have are near Los Angeles, right? In the TV show. And so, okay, the La Brea Tar Pits, that's near L.A., man. It's not like they popped up overnight and I say, you know what I'm saying? But they're close to Los Angeles, yes. Okay. So yeah, that's the cool thing about Zorro was when they filmed it and the countryside, it's not like on freaking Austin Powers. Isn't it funny how the English countryside in no way looks like Southern California, right? Whereas when they filmed Zorro, they were talking about Los Angeles, and it's like it just so happens that a lot of scenery looks like Los Angeles because it is filmed in Los Angeles. Andale pues, isn't that cool? Like 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. That's also filmed in L.A. And Trouble Man, isn't that supposed to be L.A. too? Or, I come apart, baby, but now I'm fine. Trouble Man. Oh yeah, last night they drew me in because the Temps was on, and they put the Temps up, and I started listening to Eddie Kendricks. Everybody knows how much I like Eddie Kendricks, right? He stayed through my window, I watch out as she passes by. I say to myself, you're such a lucky guy. To have a girl like her is truly a dream come true. He has a much better voice than I do. Yeah. Out of all the fellas in the world, she belongs to me. But it was just my imagination running away with me. Tell you it was just my imagination running away with me. So we'll be married and raise a family. And Paul Williams, oh yeah, and Dennis Edwards. Did they first do? I thought when they first did that song that David was still with the group. I thought so. I think when David had just left the group when they were on the Ed Sullivan Show and Dennis was there, and they were singing it. Every night on my knees I pray, dear Lord, hear my plea. Don't ever let another take her love from me. I would surely die. Her love is heavenly when her arms enfold me. I hear a tender rhapsody. That's what it says. I thought it said, I feel her tender love so deep. I hear a tender rhapsody. I heard him and David singing it the other night. But in reality, she doesn't even know me, just my imagination. Yeah, they had me thinking that with everything here. That was an egomaniac and had an overactive imagination. It's like, I didn't kill God to invent the universe and the theory of everything in my ego with strings and loops. They're children. They can't make up their own mind, Leonard. This is a deal breaker. Yeah. And if this happens, that'll be a game changer. What made you think that life is a game to be played with and that all the people in the world were your game pieces, you egotistical, little, moronic, selfish asshole? You see why Tiro Suzuki doesn't like you? Okay? Just because he looks like me doesn't mean he's anything like me. Like my Suzuki told me to tell my cousin Jimmy, tell your mother I love her very much, and I am Japanese, and I'm talking to you through your cousin Earl, and I knew an Okinawan who killed my cousin. Does that mean I should call all Okinawans cousin murderer? Just because I look like Hirohito, does that mean I'm a murderer like Hirohito? You do know that Jesus Christ was a relative of Caiaphas and Herod. Should we call Jesus baby killer and Messiah conspirator to murder? You know, God's chosen people. I that's a fallacy. That's a misusing of words. Okay, those that choose to have faith in God will always continue to do so eternally because their faith is immaculate. Those that try to kill the Messiah, to murder each other with money, to use technology to feel powerful and in authority and being lawmakers and manipulating people with their invention they call laws, shall be trapped in their own devices by their own sin. How quantum computing of your artificial general intelligence, right? Just my imagination once again running away with me. It was just my imagination running away. Boom, 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 boom. And I never know that I can forget her. Just my imagination. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Running away with me. Right. Love under new management. Right. That's what love is. I like love under new management. That's why love is. I trying to remember the Gerald and Mickey songs. I like Mickey solo. Yeah, I like her better solo than her duets with Gerald. Baby Be Mine and I gotta go listen to You Go to My Head and see if that's Ella that she's singing, because I like Ella. Everybody all know how much Earl likes Ella. I will always have I'll be loving you eternally. I will always have a crush on Ella Fitzgerald. You cannot take that from me. No, you can't take that away from me. The way you laugh, like me and Emily, the way you sing off key, the way you hold your knife. No, they can't take that from me. I always told them that too. You can't take away Clutie. You can't take away Clack Click Clip. You can't take away Daddy. Want to hear Do It, Daddy. You can't take away Kangaroo. You can't take away, Malaki Bump Ma. You can't take away Cracklet Quip and Kringle Bells. It's just another part of me. Okay, guys, I love you. Let's load this up. NASA, make it quicker to load up. You not massa. You dumbassa. Don't be dumbassa. Money not real. Invention fucked up when money is real. But if money is real, you fucked up. Don't be fucked up. Make it faster. You not massa. Just holy jihad your Batman and master yourself and be humble, righteous, faithful, empathetic, and kind, and love. Love. Why would you take so long to come to me, right? Were you hiding all the time? Yeah, in here. Solitary confinement for the soul.